Hello there, fun food fans. It's Karen Ricks, head chef of our kitchen classroom, and I'm here with our little Sue. Say hi to everybody, sir.
Hey guys.
We are here to share some of the rich, sweet, and juicy delights that we have just picked from our garden here in Thessaloniki, Greece. You want to see what it is? You ready to show them?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look. We are blessed with an abundance of these beautiful figs.
Oh, come on, I'll do the drum roll.
Oh, okay, go ahead, do the drum roll.
Figs.
Figs.
Now that was a good one.
Okay, these figs literally came right out of the garden. We were reaching up to pick and pluck, and they were raining down on our head the other day, weren't they?
Yeah.
We saw so many that are just showering down from the fig trees around us. And it's really, really hot here this summer. So we're not necessarily using a lot of fire when we're preparing our foods. But this is something really simple that we wanted to share with you. A great and simple treat that you could do. They do, don't they? What do they smell like? What does it smell like to you, sir?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of getting that block from the soap and water I used to wash my hands.
Well, I'm glad you have clean hands. That's an important thing to do before you start your food preparation. We've got clean hands. Let's go ahead and take them, and we're going to show you exactly what we're doing with them. All right? Why don't you go ahead and take these three right here and put them on your cutting board?
Whoa. 1, 2. Should I take this one?
Take this one too.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I will take these and put them on mine. And we're going to share with you what it is we're about to do. All right, let's take a look at our cutting boards here. All right, so the first thing we want to show you is that these figs, like I said, literally just plucked from the tree, sometimes have this little stem on them where they were attached to the tree.
So we just cut them off like this?
The skin of the fig is very thin, and you can eat the entire thing, but this part right here is a little hard. And that's not going to have a nice texture that you want in your mouth.
I'm trying to squeeze it.
Yeah, it's hard right there.
Should I just do this?
So all we're going to do is cut it off. That's it.
That's
Just that tiny little bit. With a knife. It's very easy, okay? These figs are so ripe. In fact, which one was it? This one that we plucked. See, one of the ways that we can tell just how ripe it is by some of that sweet, juicy deliciousness that's already starting to leak out of the bottom.
I thought it was because there was a hole, not because there's a bunch of juice on the bottom.
Well, as they ripen, this hole gets larger, and the sweetness, the natural sugars inside the fruit start to dissolve. That's why where this was sitting on the plate, some of it started to leak out just a little bit. This is perfectly ripe, and you have to be very careful with them. Well, that's what I was just going to say. You have to be very careful with them, because if you squeeze it, it's going to go and it's gonna splat all over my. You want to see what happens? Okay, you got to do it on camera there so everybody can see. Here you go. What happens when you squeeze it?
I'm not gonna squeeze it hard. Make sure that.
Okay, show everybody what it looks like. Go ahead, squeeze gently. There you go. Okay, and squeezing is actually one of the
here.
Yep, we're gonna see the insides of these in just a minute.
There's a bunch of seeds.
Yeah,
are those actually fig seeds?
They are. That's part of what we're gonna do to prepare this fruit. Okay, so go ahead and take your knife, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't think you're gonna be able to count all of them. There are a lot of seeds in there.
At least. Can you see how many there are right there? That's a lot right there. I can't even count all of them.
All right, so we're going to take advantage of the soft nature of this ripe fruit, and we're going to cut through the top of it into quarters, but we're not going to cut all the way through. We're going to leave about a finger's width right there, about a finger's height on the bottom. Watch me, and then you can do yours, okay? So we're going to cut through on the top right here, but we're not going to go all the way down to the bottom. We're going to stop right there, okay? And then we're going to turn it at what angle is that? When playing with our protractor recently, we just rotated it. How many degrees?
Here would be 90.
90 degrees. And then we're going to cut a perpendicular line this way.
But not all the way down.
Not all the way down again. So you can see that we have sliced the fig into 4 quarters, but we're not going all the way down. Do you see it stops right at this line, about the height of my finger.
I really wasn't exactly super
That's okay.
careful.
It doesn't have to be perfect because you know what we're going to do next?
What?
The same thing you were just experimenting with here. We're going to squeeze it at the bottom. Take your index fingers and put them on one quarter right here. And take your thumbs and put them on the back quarter right here. And you're going to press down into your cutting board and give it a little squeeze. The fig is going to open up just like a little flower.
Like this?
And when you give it that squeeze, now we've got the exposed fruit starting to stick out. You see how that works?
Like this?
Push down and give it a squeeze. Perfect. There you go.
Wow.
Now opening it
That's
up like
easy.
that is going to make it really easy to accept the next ingredient. But first, let's go ahead and cut and squish our other figs.
I only have one other because
I know you already squished the other one. That's okay.
I'm
We're
not
gonna
sure I
cut
got the entire stem off this one.
And squish. Cut. And then squish.
So cut down.
Now it's important, even though these are soft, to use a sharp knife so that it actually goes through the fruit. And if you have something like a butter knife, which I know a lot of people are tempted to do with young children, what you're going to get is something dull that's going to squash the fruit down. It's not actually going to cut through.
Yeah, because it might not.
It won't actually cut. It's just going to push down on it.
Yeah, because these are delicate. Look,
That's right.
Remember this thing?
We can see how easy it is to squish, right?
Hey, that would have been a good demonstration.
It is a good demonstration.
And I barely put enough pressure. Imagine trying to do this.
Ooh, okay.
That's what would
very
probably
squishy.
happen with a butter knife.
All right. The next thing I want to introduce to you is another one of our beautiful discoveries from here in
Ready?
Greece this summer. This
Flower.
cheese is called.
Look, I did it.
Squish! Look at that. It does look like a little flower, doesn't it?
If
Or maybe like, you know what it looks like?
all you
the
need
mouth
is a fifth petal.
Of, one of those Venus flytraps. You know, the kind of flower
Yeah,
that
I
opens
know.
that eats bugs?
Yeah, I
It
know.
looks kind of like that mouth, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you need to go into like this position.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if you only cut it in half and then
Yeah.
squished it. Well, what we're going to do
That's
is we're going to
cool.
take this beautiful kefalotiri.
And give it teeth.
It's a special kind of Greek cheese. And
We
we're
need
going to
to
put
taste
it. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, we do have to taste it. Here in our
Rule number
kitchen
one,
classroom, we
taste.
taste all of our ingredients because we have to know what we've got going in. Give it a
As
taste.
long as it's not poisonous.
No,
Kidding.
it's not poisonous. Well, it could be. Some raw things are not so good to taste. But
Like
this
chicken?
particular cheese,
Like chicken?
it's hard.
Very
It's
good.
It's
Salty?
very salty.
Mm.
It's got a puckery kind of sourness to it. But it's got amazing flavor, which is a beautiful contrast to this sweet fruit. And that's why we're going to tuck it right inside. Here you go.
You only need a
Take a
little
piece.
bit.
Yep, you only need a little bit.
And do
We're
this.
just going to tuck it right inside. And
Like
take this
this?
end of the fruit and just tuck it right in there.
Oh, look.
Just like that.
Oh, look, I've caught a fly.
There
I've
you
caught
go.
a cheese.
All right, go ahead and put it
It's
back
a
on the
fly.
plate,
It's
please.
a cheese. It's a cheese fly.
All right. Here you go. You can put some more
Mm.
inside your other fruit.
These things are delicious.
They are.
You don't
delicious.
need a lot hot to do this, though.
Just a tiny little bit tucked inside.
Probably just about an inch.
It's going to depend on the size of your figs.
I just eat them because my other one's squash.
Well, you know what you can do? You can still tuck that in there.
I just rather eat it. It's more delicious.
All
that
right,
way.
go ahead.
Mmm.
All right. And then the last thing that we're going to do, the figs are really sweet. It's a wonderfully sweet fruit, but we're going to add something just to kind of tie it all together. Okay? And here's what we're going to do. I have a little bit of a local honey.
Honey, I thought that was olive oil.
This is honey. Now you could, if you wanted to do something savory, you could drizzle this with olive oil and maybe give it a sprinkle of salt, especially if you don't use as
about
salty
pepper?
a cheese, something like
What about
mozzarella
pepper?
cheese. Pepper is something else that we like, that kind of spicy, salty stuff. But I'm just going to take a little drizzle of this honey and let it ooze right over the top.
Hon, don't you want to get on the cheese?
Just a little bit. The connection will help bring out the natural sweetness in the fig.
Isn't the
And-
fig naturally sweet?
It is, and it will tie it together with that salty savoriness
Yeah, all you
of
need to
the
do
cheese.
is drizzle around the plate like.
There you go, taste.
Just that and the cheese.
And that's it. A very simple and delicious fig appetizer. This could be a beautiful hors d'oeuvre, a nice
Maybe
little
a
party
dessert.
finger food. It could be dessert. You know, if we had a softer cheese, something that's really melty, you could take a blowtorch to it and really melt the cheese in there to kind of bring it all together.
We really don't have a blowtorch.
We don't have a blowtorch here. You want to taste? See how it is? All of it together?
You go first.
Me first. Okay. This is just perfectly bite-sized. We just pop the whole thing in.
So, is that good?
Mm-hmm. You pop that whole thing in your mouth?
I got a big mouth.
You do have a big mouth. Go ahead. That saltiness of the cheese really does balance beautifully with the sweet softness of the figs. Comes together. You saw how quick and simple this all is. This is just one of the many things that we're exploring.
I think there should be a little more hard.
Our kitchen playground this summer, right? Here in Greece. If we wanted to cook these, like heat, like we're talking about melting the cheese, I would probably recommend making sure your figs are a little bit more firm because then they would soften. Yes. These figs, yeah, like the one that you had that was a little bit more firm. These figs are extra ripe, like this one that's squished under just the tiniest little bit of pressure in your fingers. That's the sort of thing that you want to have balanced with the hard cheese that you're not going to heat up. Because as soon as you heat these figs, you know what they're going to do?
What?
Oh, you know what that would be beautiful in? Like a little fig tart or something. Maybe that's the next thing we could play with.
What about you put a tart and then put figs on top and then melt those and put like a little creamy ooze on top?
All right, so you can see how this automatically generates lots and lots of ideas for things that we want to play with here in our kitchen classroom. If you want to join us, come on and visit us over on the playground. We're experimenting with all sorts of deliciousness. We'll see you on the inside. Check your the video notes here for the link to join us and to subscribe today. We'll see you on the inside.
See you guys.